Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alexio Picco, and I'm the Managing Director of the Circle Group, and I welcome you to the last event of the Connecting EU Insight Winter Edition. This year we thought to have this winter edition organized directly in Brussels, but for the reason you can imagine, we shifted again to a full digital mode. We started already 2 days ago. We had 4 different events with really a high-level number of speakers and people attending. And we are today at the very last one, in which we are, let's say, in a way, in a circle, as we are coming back to IT. We started from IT on Tuesday, on the Smart Sea final conference, in a way, and we come back to talk about one project that is about the digitalization, that is the project called eBridge, that is a CEF project, that is about innovative technology and digitalization. Specifically, we want to, this morning, to set a little bit more how innovative technologies could help definitely the handling of the operation in ports and in the supply chain, but also looking to the green transition and to the energy transition we are living. You know quite well that we are living in an environment in which everything should be thought in a way that should be more sustainable, green, in order to give us a better sustainable future. And also digitalization is part of this package. So we have a number of very high-level speakers, and we start, and I will give you the floor in a minute, Laura, with Laura Ghio, that is currently Director of the Port Planning and Labour Department at the Western Ligurian Seaport Authority. Laura is graduated in Business Economics at the University of Genoa and is also author of numerous academic articles in port, maritime industry, book and journals, active as a member of EU working groups as the Port Authority of Genoa delegate. So for the welcome addresses, I leave the floor to Laura, and thanks, Laura, to be with us today, and the floor is yours.
Hello, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Alexio, and good morning to everybody. First of all, I would like to thank you, Circle, for this occasion to participate to this very interesting webinar. Because, I mean, as a Port of Genoa, we strongly believe that all the issues which are discussed today are crucial for the development of the whole port sector, and especially for the ports of Genoa, which, as probably everybody knows, comprehend the port of Genoa and the port of Savona and Vado, with a lot of terminals of operator and a huge clusters of logistics and transportation companies. What can I say? I think that I already said that the issue of digitalization is very important today, and probably today much more compared to the past, for several reasons. I think that one reason which is strongly affecting all the port sector is the radical changes which are all facing in terms of, let's say, bigger ships, less calls to the port, and much more intensive use of land, of infrastructure, of labor. So we are really appreciating something which brings port into an era in which the digitalization is crucial to be competitive and to, let's say, operate in a very competitive scenario, such is the one of the ports, not only in Italy but also in Europe. Talking about our ports, the ports of Genoa, During the past 3-4 years, we face really a very difficult period, which unfortunately started from the collapse of the Morandi Bridge, and then of course with the pandemic, which really had a great impact of everybody, of course, not only our ports. Let's say from 2018, from the year of the collapse of the Morandi Bridge, we started, let's say, a strong program of intervention, facing both the infrastructure side of the port and the digitalization. In terms of infrastructure, with the extraordinary program which is currently ongoing, the Port of Genoa focused a lot on, in particular, not only on infrastructural, let's say, development on the seaside, talking about the new breakwaters, but also on the side of the so-called last mile in terms of road transport and rail transport. So we are currently developing this program, and this is the side of the infrastructure, which is going to, let's say, at the end of this planning and with the realization of this infrastructure, we had, as the ports of Genoa, we had a strong upgrade of our last mile, which is very important in terms of connection to the market, the national one and the international one, because we need to enlarge our market and our environment. So within this infrastructural program, we are working a lot on digitalization, and which is the issue of today. So we strongly believe that working on this soft asset will help from the beginning, just for now, and not only for the future, the port process to be much more effective, much more efficient, and more competitive. So today, we will, my colleague, the people who is talking after me, who will talk after me, we will explain our project with more details. Project which are of course carried out within a strong program of financing, which of course involved also the resources, the European resources of the e-bridge project. So I think that I can stop here, because I don't want to intervene on the specific subject about our port. So I give the floor back to Alexio, and thank you again for the invitation, and have a nice morning seminar.
Thanks a lot, Laura. Thanks a lot for your welcome addresses and openings. It is important to stress the fact that your port authority is so much engaged in innovation and in digitalization processes that, of course, they are also supporting the development of the port in an era that is characterized by a little bit of a deficit from the infrastructural point of view, because following the collapse of the bridge, we are still suffering from the fact that there are a number of maintenance works running in all the highways and roads around the port and around the city that is still suffering the port from that. And the digital tools are for sure a possible resilient tool in order to support the port from the infrastructural point of view. So thanks a lot, Laura, to be with us. And let's go to the topic, the real core. So let's start to talk about digitalization of road logistics processes in ports and the new challenges that are also brought from an advanced gate automation. So I now introduce Emanuele Profice, that is from the Port Authority, is a PhD in logistics, transport and territory economics at the Italian Excellence Center of Integrated Logistics University of Genoa. It is now since 2006 working in the Port Authority of Genoa, working in the planning and development area of the Port Authority, and particularly working in EU projects and policies in the last years. Emanuele, the floor is yours to introduce the digital projects you are currently working in. Please.
Thank you for the introduction and good morning to everybody. Thank you for the opportunity of presenting today our last developments on the road digitalization. The budget with European co-financed by the Connecting Europe Facility. So if we can, the next slide, as already Laura and Alexio guided, our port.
I think that there are some problems with the audio. Maybe it's better to switch off your camera, please.
Okay.
Oh.
Yes.
We can try. Sorry, because now it's better. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. I try to do another operation to. Okay. So our port faced a lot of crisis situation during the last years. Nevertheless, the demand remained high, and we had to face the problem of smoothing and make more resilient our logistics operation. So on the one hand, we launched a huge investments program in the infrastructural fields related to the last mile infrastructures. On the other hand, we launched the developments of new services and functionalities of our port community system in order to optimize the flows. In particular, now we are talking about the road flows to a smart and green perspective, in order to better manage these flows during the works, and also to be ready for the new set of infrastructure that will be available in the next year. So if we can go to the next slide, here there are the elements that accompanied our development of the port community system in this particular topic. We have a long-lasting tradition in the digitalization with our port community system that is called ePort, that started its operation 16 years ago with let's say a port community approach. All the developments and new projects were carried out together with our port operators, namely the terminal operators, the ship agents, the freight forwarders, and the road haulage companies. One of the main topics addressed by our port community systems were the functionalities related to the entry and exit of vehicle, goods, and person in the port perimeter. Now with this new system, and we can go to the next slide, we we target a further step of digitalization in the road access. That is mainly accompanied by two elements. The first one is the badge issued by the Port Authority that is necessary to enter to the port and carry out the procedures at the port gate. The second element is that the Port Authority issued an ordinance, Ordinance number 7 in 2021, to accompany the introduction of this new pre-announcement system. So this ordinance sets and fix the rules, the operational rules and modes of operation for the different kind of port operations. We can go to the next slide and have a first glance of what this new pre-announcement system called Viaggio deals with. This new system allows to trace the port logistic process and to synchronize the operation of pickup and delivery of the goods, mainly of the containers. In this new pre-announcement system is very important the role of the road transport, so the road haulage companies and the drivers that now, differently from the precedent phases of the development of the port community system, has a proactive role. So is the driver and the road transport company that is a starter of the whole port logistic process. They start the logistic process and data and information exchange with this new system, introducing this information with their devices, with their PC, with their tablet, and also with the smartphone through an app that is called EVA. So we can go to the next slide where you can see how is represented on our port community system these functionalities. On the left, you see the view of the road haulage company, and on the right you can see the view of the new app. So we can go to the next slide where through a brief video, we will see how this system works. The video in particular shows the entry in the system with the user and password, and then the driver will upload all the information. Here the driver can see the list of voyages. One of the voyages is green and the other still red. So when he arrives at the port, he notifies the arrival. The port gives back a message where the voyage is authorized, is okay. The driver can see, and also the other operators can see the documents that are attached to this voyage. So everyone can see these documents. And then the driver receives back the interchange and can enter first the port gate and secondly the terminal gate. At the end of the presentation, there will be another video, a longer video showing more in general how the process works. In any case, what is important to say is that this new pre-announcement system can allow to collect all the documents that are digitalized and attached to the voyage. So the driver, the freight forwarder at the gate, the terminal can see all the information related to the voyage, and this exchange and sharing of data and information allows to smooth all the operation and also to solve in advance possible problem before the arrival of the truck to the port and to the gates. So it's very useful to ease and to make smoother the logistic process. The last slide relates to the future developments that we are targeting. So first of all, this system is coupled with a port gate and terminal gates automation process. Many of the terminal in Genoa are developing automated gates. Some of them are already working, and some are ongoing to be developed. Also, the port gates of the Port Authority will be revamped and in a perspective of gate automation. Another important element of these future developments on the roadside is the new Western Port Gate in Samparderena Cornigliano that will allow to enter also with these digital procedures from the western part of the Samparderena port. And further step of this process could be the intermodal appointment. So and the let's say the arrival slots like in other ports, and I suppose we'll see something about this issue in the presentation of Claudia Caballini, and this can be the development path of this new pre-announcement system. And finally, we foresee to further push on the dematerialization and digitalization of other documents attached to the voyage, to the pre-announcement system. So, for instance, the CMR document. So I thank you again for your attention and for the invitation and for the opportunity of presenting our new development. And I will leave you with the second video we prepared, which broadly illustrate again how this new app and this new pre-announcement system works. So thank you again, and the floor is yours.
Thanks a lot, Emanuele. And I may say that it's clearly, understandable how these improvements are really important for the situation we are living, and how they can really help to reduce congestion. And of course, in this respect, to have also some environmental benefits. So thank you very much, Emanuele, for your in-depth presentation of the new digitalization developments related to the gate automation. So let's move. We have two logistic things. One is that I remember you that you could use the Q&A, the chat for the Q&A, so you can ask questions, and we will see how to sort them out. We have a little bit of a switch in the agenda, meaning that the next speaker will be Claudia Cavallini, talking about track appointment system. So let me just introduce Claudia. Claudia is let me just, sorry, I missed the problem. No, the problem. I have the problem that I missed the biography of Claudia. Sorry, Claudia is assistant professor in transportation at Polytechnic of Turin since 2019. She's graduated in management engineering at University of Genoa. She has a long experience in working in logistic and business process re-engineering, also together with us. She is member of the editorial board of the International Journal Transportation Research Interdisciplinary Perspectives, and also co-author of more than 50 scientific articles published in international journals and conference proceedings. Track appointment system is your topic that is quite much related also to what Emanuele presented. So thank you very much to be with us today, and Claudia, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, and welcome to everybody. And thanks for your kind invitation to these interesting events. I'm going to show my presentation. Just wait a moment. Can you see that?
Yes, confirm.
Okay, perfect. So I will start from two main evidences worldwide. The first one is the continuous growth of world maritime trade volumes, and which apart from 1990s up to today, apart from two main low peaks in 2008, 2009 due to the economical crisis, financial crisis, and the second one is due to the pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic. However, despite these two main crises, and especially the last one regarding COVID, UNCTAD expected world maritime trade to recover plus 4.3% in 2020, and forecasting for the futures a continuous growth in maritime trade. So they're expecting an annual rate of plus 2.4% between 2022 and 2026. In parallel, the phenomenon of naval gigantism keeps on going. And this phenomenon of the continuous increase in the growth of ships completely changed and modify the organizational model, the organizational processes. So from a situation in which we have smaller ships with higher frequencies and a lower quantity of cargo loaded and unloaded in ports, towards a situation in which we have higher peaks of cargo in small windows to be managed and a lower frequency of ships. And the situation, so all of these two main trends, of course, create enormous issues of congestion at ports, both inside and outside port areas. And the situation is even worsened by the COVID-19 pandemic with its disruptive effects, which have further created and generated increasing congestion and delays at ports. So, of course, this congestion generates, sorry, I have to, because I cannot see, I have to try to move on the bar of Zoom. Okay. Wait a moment, sorry. Well, the causes of congestions are on three main sides. For trucking companies, there is an increase of truck turnaround times and a reduction of their service level at ports. And the worst thing is the reduction in truck productivity. So the ability to maximize the number of trips that they can perform on a daily basis. For the industry, there is, of course, a decrease in just-in-time performances and extra costs along the whole supply chain. And also for the communities, there are some drawbacks in terms of negative externalities, because we suffer from noise, from pollution and accidents due to this increase of congestion. Well, there are some possible solutions towards this phenomenon. For sure, we can increase efficiency and speed up operations through, for instance, automation, through a better organization and managerial processes, through extended gate hours, for instance, but these are not the only ones, maybe the main ones. We can work on expanding port capacities, but we know that it is very difficult, especially in ports as Genoa or other ports which are embedded in the city fabric. We can work on more flexible organization of port operations. We can for sure increase the railway transport quota. We know that rail can effectively move a higher quantity of cargo in smaller times and very quickly from in order to decongest port areas. And the last one, which is related to this topic, is to effectively managing and controlling road traffic flows, and with the use, in this case, of a truck appointment systems. So what is a truck appointment systems? This kind of tool is a digital platform which is usually managed by terminals or port authorities that allow transport companies to book in advance their arrival at the terminal or at the port in a specific time slot of the gate opening time windows. In this way, the demand of trucks arriving on an hourly basis becomes predictable and controllable. More specifically, which are the processes of a truck appointment system? The first step is that the terminal operator determines that the appointment quota, so the number of appointments for each time slot of the gate opening hours, trying to satisfy some performances. So for instance, to minimize the use of its resources, to maximize the truck service levels, minimize truck turnaround times, or other goals. Then, so when the appointment quota has been determined, the available appointments can be published. Usually they are published on terminal website, but they, in any case, they are made available for the trucking companies to book and to book their arrival. The third step is that each truck selects one time slot to perform their delivery or pickup of the containers, providing some information such as the container ID, company, truck plate, truck ID, booking number. If the preferred time slot is fully booked, of course, he has to choose another one before or later. It's preferable slot. And once the slot is booked, the truck can arrive and the container terminal gate at the container terminal gate to deliver or pick up its container, usually in a predefined service level, which is guaranteed by the terminal. There are some the truck appointment systems which are worldwide differ from some main features. The main features which distinguish truck appointment systems are the one that you can see on the slide. So the first one is the appointment windows. So the time interval within with which the truck must arrive at the entrance gate of the terminal. So for instance, one can be 1, 2, usually are 1 or 2 hours, not more. Penalties. There are some truck appointment systems which set up penalties rather than others which do not set any penalty. And when to set penalties. For instance, you can set penalty for no showing up of the truck, for late or early arrival, for multiple bookings in the same time slot for the same truck, or for deadline for an appointment, which is the maximum limit for making an appointment. For instance, you can accept a booking no later than 1 hour before the arrival of the truck. You can set, they can set different weights for the appointments. For instance, you can set some different higher weight in peak hours in order to not favor trucks to book in that slot in that peak hours. Or you can have also refund vouchers. For instance, if the terminal cannot serve the truck in the booked time window, for instance, because there is a strike or because there are some handling means which are broken, for any kind of reason, the terminal can refund the trucking company for the lower service level, or for not being able to serve it. There are also 3 main types of truck appointment systems. The first one is mandatory, compulsory. So only trucks which have booked a slot for their arrival can be served at the terminal. They can arrive and they can be served by the container terminal. In this case, they are, as I said before, they have a guaranteed service level for them. There are some other truck appointment systems which are not mandatory, so they are facultative. And so in this case, there are different service levels for trucks which have got an appointment and trucks which have not. And of course, the service level for the trucks which have been booked as a lot is definitely higher than the other ones. The last frontier of truck appointment systems which are to come, or they are ongoing, is the dynamic and collaborative truck appointment system. So in this case, there is an interactive transaction and interaction between usually truck appointments, the terminal operators and the trucking companies, in order to fulfill their mutual needs and try to find the best slot to book in order to pursue both their interests and objectives. Which are the benefits of a truck appointment system? There are a bunch of benefits related to these kind of systems. First of all, the reduction of congestion issues inside and outside the port areas. There is the increase of digitalization can help to reduce paperless operations and decrease the documentation mistakes. Of course, from the terminal point of view, there is an increase in terminal efficiency and productivity thanks to a better planning and utilization of their resources. And these can allow to reduce time and costs and possibly increasing their throughput. For trucking companies, we can reduce the truck turnaround time, or also the vessel turnaround time, and so there is a higher service level to trucking companies, to trucks. We can gain a more efficient supply chain management, so positive benefits along the whole supply chain. And we can benefit of a reduction of negative externalities, of course, so CO2 emission, local pollution, and also reduction of energy consumptions in terms of fuel. And finally, a standardization in uniform processes. Here you can have a look of how the truck appointment systems works in flattening the distribution curves related to the arrival of trucks in a container terminal. This is only an example, but you can see that the red line is with the truck appointment systems, and you can see that the peaks are being lowered down, the high peaks, and the curves is definitely more uniform than the blue line. There are a bunch of truck appointment systems worldwide, all of them with different features and characteristics according to the main features that I've just explained before. I have deliberately neglected the Italian truck appointment system, which are ongoing, and I'm going to show you only the international ones, so the abroad ones. As you can see, I'm not going to read all of them, but they have got all different features, and they concentrate on particular aspects of the system. So for instance, the appointment of Vancouver, the appointment request must be submitted before 5 a.m. 5 p.m. or the previous days. The truck with appointment will be processed first, and with the ones without appointment will be worked after, only if the time permits that. There are waits for appointment at peak times. There are redemption coupon and monetary penalties. Another important one is the Port of Los Angeles and Long Beach, which have foresees a late cancellation fee of $25 if a tracker do not cancel its appointment within 2 to 4 hours. From 2 to 4 hours of their appointment. For March the 1st to 2022, there will be an introduction of a missed appointment fee of $65, and dual appointments are allowed for double moves. So as you can see, there are the features of these track appointment systems are very different from each other. So the potential and benefits of track appointment systems are definitely numerous, and in terms of quantity and in terms of effectiveness. However, there are some drawbacks. There are some points of attention that we must carefully take into account. Insufficient appointments. If the track do not find a proper slot available in the time slot that they want to book, of course these compromise their own productivity in terms of number of trips that they can perform on a daily basis, and this of course reflects on their marginality, on their profit. There can be a lack of flexibility, so tasks may not allow for changes to appointments, for substitution of other containers, or for double moves, and this of course makes the system very rigid, and do not encounter the needs of the users of these systems. Lack of a reset option. What does it mean? Many existing track appointment systems do not have explicit provision for resetting successive appointments without penalties if the terminal problems delay the driver. So for instance, if a container terminal delays a driver, of course after the trips, the later trips can be delayed as well, but even if the terminal compensates for its fault, it does not compensate for the following trips, and so these of course create troubles for the trackers, for the tracking company, which can miss later appointments.
Claudia, a couple of 2 minutes more.
Yeah, 2 minutes. I'm going to finish. Lack of transparency. Without transparency, trackers may suspect favoritism and manipulation by terminals. Lack of standardization, so in many cases there can be a conflict between standardization, which is what tracking company wants to have. There is a strong desire for standardization in different terminals in which they go and in which they operate, and flexibility, which is pushed by terminals that they want to customize their systems according to their commercial interests and operativity. Penalties and sanctions. The penalties, of course, can in many cases cannot be added on the customers, so they are not compensated by final customers, and so the tracking companies have to burden these penalties. And finally, the lack of involvement of tracking companies. So without their involvement, there can be resentment and obstructionism towards the use of track appointment systems. So in conclusion, a track appointment system is definitely an effective tool to increase operational efficiency, enhance terminal productivity, and reduce congestion and environmental issues at ports. But there are some possible drawbacks that should be carefully taken into account. And in order for a task to be successful and effective, we need to adapt the particular this system to the particular context where it is implemented. We must take into account carefully the interests and needs of all the stakeholders involved in the process, both in the design and management of the system, in order to avoid refusal and obstructionism. We need to coordinate all the actors involved in the process, in the whole processes, and we need to have a systemic view of the whole supply chain. These are only some references, and I thank you very much for your attention.
Thanks a lot, Claudia. Before moving to the next speaker, there is a question for you from the audience. It is a question related to the fact that the track pointing system is not only appointments, but as a direct relation with cargo release. So how do you handle the release of cargo? Because of course the appointment is one point, but okay, then the cargo should be released and there are a number of things to be taken into account. How do you deal with that?
Yes, of course. I mean, this was implicit for me. There is a communication of the cargo released by the terminal towards the tracking companies. Of course, this is maybe I didn't mention explicitly, but of course this fact should be definitely managed by the terminals.
Thanks a lot, Claudia. So let's move to the next speaker, and thanks Renato to accept this switch in the agenda. So we go okay. We go to again to talk about optimization and automated management of logistic port processes through the integration of the different systems. And specifically, Renato is a certified enterprise architect with proven record of aligning IT with business needs and more than 20 years experience in logistics, energy, utility, banks, telco, and public administration. At Digitalog, as part of the governance, design, and development of the National Logistic Platform and Port Community System, Renato is dealing with the design of the digitalization of the last port railway mile, and that is also, I think, something that you are going to talk about. So thanks a lot, Renato, to be here, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. So I need to share the window. Okay. You see the presentation? Okay. First of all, thank you for the opportunity of this presentation of the work in progress of the digitization of the last railway mile of the ports, the Port Authority of Genoa and Savona. Then I would like to thank all the colleagues of Digitalog, of the Port Authority and the Circle who have contributed to the realization of the project. Okay, let's go with the speech. We talk about the last mile of railway transport inside of the port. Why? Because in this context, we had that the information flow of the port logistics process are managed in heterogeneous ways by the various actors involved. So why in the road transport the port community system helps to sharing the information between the different actors in the railways process? This type of activity is not present. So the project about the module of rail system has this goal: better programming, planning, and management of operation relating to the port railway supply chain, helping to pursue an optimization of the logistics cycle of the various actors involved. At this moment, we gather that there are in the railway process, there are a lot of actors, commercial and other, as the custom agency or the port authority, public agency. So all these actors don't to talk about the goods that are travel on the trains in different ways. Some processes are automated, others are manually managed. There are the digitization is managed in some way with the emails or Excel file. So it's a very heterogeneous way of this process. So with one of the activity of the bridge project, digital log with the Port Authority decided to work on these problems. So we started to identify the pillars of the project. I showed here. The logic of once we decided that the information of goods that are traveling on the train, they need to share just once, and not all the actors need to send the data to the various actors and different ways. Another pillar is the synchronization. So when now the process is manually managed, there is the problem of the lack of the synchronization between the different actors, the different time of availability of the people. So we try to have this pillar of the synchronization of the operation in a planning way. The need of monitoring of this process to understand how to optimize, to better manage them. And then the last pillar is the sharing. Sharing the information. We know that the information is now having the right information is the aim of all people or in all fields. So we add this pillar to sharing the information. How we work, we identify an approach and a methodology in which are the things that you see, a huge involvement of the stakeholders, so of the different actors, public and commercial and business. We use the approach of the design of a process that is proposed from the Italian Digital Agency. So we use the ecosystem maps to show, to design the process involved in the project. Then we sharing the analysis documents of this process that we try to design between the different actors, and we collect all the information and the feedback to try to define a flow that is that has all the information needed from all the actors in the different moment of the life of the manage of the train. Then we decide with all the stakeholders to design the interoperability of the system with the API of RESTful type. Okay, let's go. This phase of the project that we call the Interrail, we identify just some of the process that are involved in the managing of goods by trains. So in this moment, we decide to manage the loading list, the train composition, distinta treno, and the timetable. And you can see here which are the actors, the MTO, which are the input, the client of the server of the flow. So you can see that the origin of the loading list is an MTO. Then this loading list will arrive to a terminal to define to book the composition of a train. Then there is a train composition that is originated from the terminal. When the train is completed, then this information is sent to railway operator and to MTO. Then finally, there is this intratrain, like this, the official paper that on which they are collected the effective items that are loaded on the train. It will send to railway operator and terminal. In the next phases of the project, this information will be sent also to the custom agency. Then there is the sharing with the services of the information about the train timetable and the information about the real time of the trains. In this case, the PCS rail that in the previous phase of the project was realized the interoperability with the systems of train circulation of RFI, the Italian railway operator. So this information that coming from the railway operator are shared with the terminal and the other operators. So this is are the actors, the information flow that on which we dedicate this phase of the project. Let's go in a quick way which are the artifacts of the work that we done before of the making of the software. So we started from the sharing of the ecosystem map. You can see the ecosystem map of the train composition. So you can see how the different documents are sent from the TOS, the terminal operation system, to the port community system, the module of the rail, and then they are sending to MTO, or railways operator. Then at the bottom of the page, you can see the work that is of the analysis. So this is a table with all the information, a part of the train composition. This is table is the results of the sharing and of the knowledge of all actors, MTO, terminals, railways operators. We did, I think, more of 10, 12 meetings, technical meetings to define this this table, this list of information. Also, we worked together on the custom agency to identify other information that we needed for the next phases. Then on the right, you can see the JSON expression of the information that are sending when there is a requested notify of a train composition. So this is the realization of this flow that we are just finished this week the test, the official test of these services. Then just a few words about the technical solution. We define to make this system, this part of the system of the port community system rail with an hexagonal. We adopt an hexagonal architecture. We define. So I remark with all the stakeholders to use RESTful APIs compliant with the Open API 3. We have other features that are supply from the PLN, from the Porto Community System. So all these modules are integrated with the PLN PCS, and then there is all the identification and authorization is managed by the PLN infrastructure. Then the last, the next phase that we have just finished this month, the analysis, the last mile, in which the goals are the analysis of information flow for the management of the process of the last railways mile of the port. So in this phase, we analyze the process with also involve the shunting operators. And then there was another part, this analysis of the integration with the Agenzia delle Dogane e Monopoli, that is the Italian custom agency, to integrate the flow that I showed before with the system and the flow that the custom agency is developing to sharing the information from the train composition to the passage of the train at the automated gates. So the activity of this phase was the definition of the flow with the actors of the last mile and the design of the integration with the ADI systems and automated gates with the same approach that I represented you before. So I think that's all. Thank you. I hope it was interesting. Okay, thank you.
Thanks a lot, Renato. Thanks for the detailed, also technical
yes,
of the system. No, it was important also because, of course, you put a little bit of attention on the rail side, whilst in the beginning of our event today, the focus was more on the road side. So yes, let's go to the next one in order to see how on a different approach the digitalization could really effectively be used in the interface between ports and terminals. We're talking about certification and validation of goods inside the terminal with the process of notarization and of the interchange documents. So I leave the floor to Luca Vatello. Luca is graduated in economics at the University of Genoa and then obtained a master in MBA at SDA Bocconi in 2007. He has more than 20 years experience in ICT and business process management, and specifically the last 12, 13 years, we share this ICT and business process management in port and logistics, and is currently president and founder of Circle since 2012. Luca, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure also from my side to participate today to this very important and very appreciated event. I tried to complete the focus we are sharing about all the components of a logistic chain from the port perspective and from a different kind of transport, focusing on the formal notarization, starting from the interchange, expanding also to the different kind of transport, and talking about how to have a formal validity from a legal perspective, so a formal signature about this kind of document. We started from analysis, a deep analysis that we shared with ASI Terminal, so with all the main terminal in Italy, but not only in Italy, and identifying the interchange, one of the point in which the paper is remain in this moment, and the signature of this piece of paper is also a legal topic, because it's a piece of paper that is signed by the terminal and by the truck company, so by a driver normally, that have a formal validity and have to be transformed in a digital way, but considering all the legal aspects of that. We cooperated also with Legale Semplice and in this field with very strong experience in legal topics, and we applied the EIDAS EU normative particularly Article 41, 42, and all the related rules. So there is from one side the terminal with its terminal operating system, from the other side the truck company and the driver, and the possibility to apply a certified signature at timestamp in order to have a digital document that have absolutely the same validity from a legal perspective of a formal notarized document. What we added is the possibility to share automatically this information among the different actors of a logistic, of that part of the logistic chain, and the possibility to apply this in different kind of scenario. So it's totally complementary, considering the applications and the process that Emanuele Profice shared before, because we decided to define in a federative service way. So the topic is not an additional application, not an additional mobile app, not an additional, but only a federative service that give the opportunity to interoperate, adding this kind of signature to the existing application, to the existing app, to the existing situation and terminal operating system. So from one side, we have the existing terminal operating system of a different terminal. From the other side, there are the existing app, for example, the import app that Emanuele identified, the app of some truck company that have their own app and so on. And with web service, there is the possibility to add in interoperability also the notarization and the formal signature. After that, we identified the two actors in the logistic chain, and thanks, obviously, the two actors that with us are managing the concrete pilot that is in production, that is Terminal San George as a terminal and Carbox as a truck companies. But the topic is the possible application of this kind of concept to different terminal, and so different terminal operating system, different ports, obviously, first of all, in the ports of Genoa, where we are talking and working, but potentially different ports and different truck companies. That is obviously from the truck company's point of view, from the association point of view, from the driver point of view, one of the topic, the possibility to have a validity of this kind of legal signature and exchange of information in different situation using these federative services. Here you have some photo and concrete data. I canceled obviously for privacy some data of one of a day in which the system worked in Terminal San Giorgio. So arriving a container from Taros with Carbox truck, applying the two signature. It's totally digital, totally in automatic way. So they receive a QR code, they see and identify with a smartphone a QR code. It appears the possibility to sign from the driver point of view. It's applied also automatically a signature entering and exiting, considering obviously the two kind of operation, because arriving it could be in a full container for export and exiting potentially full container for import. So you can manage one or two operation, obviously, and at the end there is a formal interchange in an interoperable digital way with also the two signature that interoperate in real time with the application server side of the signature, ADAS compliant, giving to all the process a total notarized validity from ADAS perspective. And this is applied to the interchange document, but we decided to extend this kind of approach, and again in collaboration with Terminal, also to the rail part. So starting from the last mile, we heard from Renato, and the total digitalization. This is an example of a lot of last mile situation in which all the component, the rail terminal, the rail management inside the TOS, the rail execution, the handheld and mobile app in the yard, the rail track planning, the rail train planning, and the real-time view, all the components that are in a lot of situations already totally digitalized, and we had a strong experience in this. Also the application of a notarization to the lettera di vettura, as I was telling before Renato, the CIM and the H30 that are two of the international standard of rail transport documentation. And starting from that, so we applied the same approach that I was summarizing before about the truck part, also to the rail part, sharing with a multimodal transport operator and a railway undertaking company this kind of information. We also, in this case, we implemented a concrete pilot with PSA and PSA Genoa Pra and Car Train, and completing all these activity. And so also this part is a concrete existing opportunity in order to digitalize topic. I use one last minute just to share with you other complementary activities that are ongoing in this field. Renato already told, inside a twin project that is a rail project in cooperation with the bridge project with Italian Customs Agency and Ports of Genoa. We are also implementing, we completed, as Renato summarized the analysis, and we will start next year the digitalization implementation of their customs gate automation. So the possibility of totally digitalized control, and also the Guardia di Finanza final check of a train, especially exiting from a port with all the customs and security topics related to the goods inside the import container from extra-European country. And this is an ongoing activity. The other ongoing activity, and go to finish and give the floor to Veronica, is the ongoing pilot about the last mile optimization and interoperability that is working in San Pier d'Arena area, and after with the Port Authority want to expand also to the other area of the ports, finally arriving to this kind of picture that Laura know very well and Emanuele know very well, and I like to share with our friends at international level. So the fact that in Italy, and specifically in Ports of Genoa, there is a lot of activity that are going in a parallel way, all approaching the end of work of the third pass, the Terzo Valico, in order to give a big opportunity to all the operators, logistic operator, rail operator, big international shipping line, big shippers, to have in a concrete way, step by step, with additional increased performance and optimized process, a full digital and totally integrated part. So it was a pleasure, and I let the floor to the next speaker. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Luca. It was important to highlight how a different portion of this digitalization could effectively improve the supply chain. And this is also very important in view, specifically in terms of both in terms of the road and road sector, in view of the implementation of the regulation of the electronic freight transport document, the EFTI, because the so-called lettera di vettura is the railway transport document that is to be subject of this regulation that is already in place, and it will be implemented in the next couple of years. So it's important to step into this part of digitalization, also looking to an important regulation that is going to at least trying to harmonize the sector in the near future. So last but not least, we have the last speaker of the day. In a way, we finished this bringing different pieces together in a digital twin, because digital twin is something exactly bringing together simulation and real life in order to do something that until a couple of years ago was decoupled, and now is integrated in a digital twin concept. And talking also about the final optimization way, specifically in the rail sector. And we have Veronica Asta, that is founder at Optimisi. She has attended the PhD course in Logistics and Transport of the Center of Excellence Logistic Transport Infrastructure, CEDI, of the University of Genoa, in collaboration with us, Circle. And she has a bachelor degree in economics of maritime, logistic and transport companies, and master degree in economics and maritime and port management. Veronica, the floor is yours for this last speech of the day. Thanks a lot.
Okay, so thank you very much. Good morning to everyone. Thank you again for this invitation to this webinar for the second time in this year. I can share my screen. Okay, you can see my presentation. Yeah, okay. Okay, so today good morning. So my name is Veronica Asta. I'm the founder of Optimisation. Today I'm gonna speak about this project TEBET in the field of digitalization in ports area. This project is of the Competence Center Start 4.0, and is a project that has been has involved these companies that you can see in the screen, also Mesa, Circle Group, and Terminal San Giorgio, which is a multi-purpose maritime terminal of Port of Genoa. Just an introduction, Optimisation is an innovative startup and spin-off of University of Genova, which provides an easy approach to obtain decision support systems using both operation research and optimization techniques. We take advantage from the integration of transversal skills from the mathematics and the optimization applied to the logistics transport field, taking into consideration also economic aspects. So in order to have an holistic approach to real problems. Optimisation has a strong partnership with the Circle Group in the field of this line of business optimization 4.0. Within we develop different projects in optimization and innovation for the logistics and the port sectors. So in this field, we worked together for this project, which has had the objective to develop a control room prototype for a multi-purpose port terminal. So with the goal was to propose actions capable of stemming dangerous situations, and this could be done in this area thanks to the use of both on one side virtual and on the other side increased reality, thanks to the use also of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and big data analysis. In this slide, you can see some screenshots from the digital twin that we developed. This is the real area of the terminal in Port of Genoa in the San Pierdarena Basin. This has been used, this is the two-dimension representation visualization. And this tool can be used as a decision support tool, of course, for the efficient management of multi-purpose terminal operations, but I can say for different process operations in all the port area. So this tool can be used for both the visualization of the real state and the real process, the real operation that are done in a real time, but also the simulation of the activities in order to suggest or to suggest actions that can be done from the operators that have to manage all the also dangerous situation in some cases inside this kind of area, this kind of process. So here this is just a scheme, a general representation of the back end of the digital twin in terms of data, because this digital twin wanted to include the most important parts of the activities in this terminal. So we decided to consider different kind of data, as you can see from this part, from the left side of the slide, because we considered both data from drivers. So what does it mean? Information about the drivers that are coming inside the port area, inside the terminal area, and outside the terminal area, but also operators. So the localization of the employees of the terminal, but also equipment. So again, the localization of the equipment of the terminal inside the area that is working and is doing the loading and unloading activities, but also information about the goods that are managed in this terminal. So for example, containers and trailers that have to be loaded, unloaded from the ship, from the trailer, and then parked in the dedicated areas. As last, we consider also some information about the ship voyages, because of course the goods have to be loaded and unloaded from the ship in a maritime terminal. So also this kind of data has used in this project. I represented here a common database because we decided to build a common database for managing all this information that in this terminal, but it is common in other realities. They are not in the same IT system, so we had to import this data from different systems of the terminal and to create and to manage this different information in a common database in order to feed in the right way, in a useful way, the digital twin that have to work well. So here I can share with you very quickly a video. Here, this is a two-dimension visualization of the real-time operations and also simulation. This is, of course, the speed is increased because this is a simulation. And you can see the ships arriving and outcoming. You can see the equipment that is moving inside and all the parking area that have mapped and have considered in this project. So this is the real area of the terminal. I think I have also 1 second to share another video. This is the three dimension of the same digital twin. Here again, the speed is increased, but just to give an idea of what I'm speaking about. And here you can see the trailers coming and parking the trailers inside the dedicated area. And of course, I know we can do some zoom and so, but this is really important for a terminal, for a kind of this process that is really difficult, because we can have both the control of the activities inside a terminal, and also with this tool allow us to do some simulation that are really useful for decision makers. For this side, I can say that the digital twin that we developed has been integrated to both a tracking system, or GTS in this case, and an artificial intelligence platform that is called Bonsai, in order to test different experimentation. This is for the side of the simulation, in order to increase the reality and the simulation. So we decided to implement this 3 experimentation: 1 for the fire simulation scenario, 1 for the tracking and alert system, and 1 for the parking optimization. I can give you briefly give you an idea of what we did, because for the fire simulation, so I can say for a dangerous event simulation, we decided to simulate this event, and thanks to artificial intelligence algorithms that are implemented inside this project as a proof of concept, we are able to calculate and to compute the minimum risk path for the employees, for the operators, for the human beings that are inside the terminal, and to send this path to them by using a integrated messaging system. It depends, WhatsApp, email, what we want, but we can send an information to the operators to okay, the best path that you can take in order to avoid the dangerous situation, the dangerous area, or something like this, is that one. And this is really important for a terminal, for a process that can be in some way dangerous. Then the tracking and alert system, again here, thanks to the localization of the operators inside the area, we are able to understand, also thanks to all the information that we can manage in this kind of tool, we can be able to predict that in that area, for example, there will be a lot of traffic or a lot of operations with equipment, containers maybe, and this is maybe this is in some way again dangerous for the operators. And so in this way we can send to the operators that are localized, that are in this moment in a dangerous area. Okay, so be careful, like an alert, be careful, in the next 4 hours there will be a dangerous or a traffic area, traffic moment, so please avoid this area, and so on. This is also really interesting, and also this can be done saving the privacy of the operators inside the terminal, because we can do something like this with in an anonymous way. So this can be managed in this way. Finally, the parking optimization, this of course, knowing the state of the system, knowing the state of the areas of the terminal, we can, and knowing what is coming, what is entering, we can compute the best area where to park the trailer, for example, to ensure better performances of the import and export process, but also following the reduction of the collision risks. That was also the one of the most important object of this project. So the safety and the inside this kind of processes. As last, I can say that thanks to simulation that are of course simulation, but real with some real data, and of course the real process and the real situation, we have estimated the possibility of reduction of the collision, of the accident rate till the 30%. That is a good number for a tool like this. So we finished this project, and we are really happy to have completed in such a way this project. So thank you very much for the attention. I'm available for any question. And so.
Thanks a lot, Veronica. Oh, sorry, I'm taking out the mask for a while. And thanks a lot, Veronica, and thanks to all the speakers. I do not see any further question, and we are perfectly in time. It's a little bit of a miracle. Thanks to all the speakers. It was really nice and interesting, because really the complementarity of the different speakers was really good in touching the different transport modes, in touching the different kind of digitalization that you could apply in the interface in between the port and the terminals. So I think it was a very comprehensive description of how many types of innovation you could do currently in this field. So it is what was really the good way to end the Connecting EU Inside series of the winter edition. We will come back in spring, summer. We would really like to do something more physical than it is now. Not everything, of course, depends on us. We will see, but certainly we are going also to renew a little bit the format. We thank you very much with your participation. It was really great to have so many people in these days to attend. And of course, being the period, we wish you a very, very nice Christmas time, and very happy and peaceful, let's say, in a way, 2022. See you soon, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.